So, as Bill Morgan mentioned on Monday, compassion and wisdom are two wings of the bird of Buddhism. And while we know what compassion is intellectually, it only becomes real to us when we experience it for ourselves. Only then can we develop its capacity. Compassion is the second Brahmavihara. Remember, the Brahmaviharas, loving kindness, compassion, joy, equanimity, are the qualities of heart that we want to keep developing. When the friendliness of metta encounters suffering, the heart quivers in its presence and is moved to relieve it. This quivering of the heart is compassion. I was 14 years old when my 16-year-old brother was biking home and hit by a car. His spleen, about to rupture, was quickly removed, and the doctors failed to remove all the gauze when he was in surgery. So infection developed, and the stench was overwhelming. My mother was squeamish around blood and guts, anything to do with that. But she changed his dressing every single day. Seeing that the infection had developed, a week later, he was back in surgery. And then once again home, my mother was nursing him. Now, knowing how sheepish she was around wound care, I watched in admiration and in inspiration as not a trace of disgust was revealed in her face or her demeanor. It was pure compassion. Compassion is a field of care that goes beyond our little old selves, what we feel like, what we feel or like or think they can handle. When we put our self-view aside and we open to a wider, less personal perspective, we can do amazing things. My mother, who was normally freaked out at the sight of blood, put aside her feelings, put aside her fear, her disgust, and she ministered to my brother for months. I felt for her, I felt for him, and it was just a beautiful example of compassion in action. Compassionate action takes many forms. And it's interesting to say that it's an action. It's not just a feeling. We are moved to do. We volunteer at local shelters. We support charitable causes. People get out and protest injustices. They participate in creating positive change. The field of care offered by compassion, it stretches to include compassionate and empathetic listening, to indirectly assisting and to directly caring for others' well-being. We need each other. We need to care for each other and care for ourselves. A few years ago, I told a story about Kuan Yin in the bathroom, in my bathroom, that is. Kuan Yin is the goddess of compassion, an imagined being who hears the cries of the human world but doesn't sink under the weight of them, is able to respond skillfully. So I put her on my sink because for a long time, standing in front of the mirror was my hell realm. All manner of unkindness assaulted my mind. Needing extra help, I invited her to help me out. I would pause periodically, and this is her, and I would look at her face and ask myself, what would Kuan Yin say? How would she say it? How would she touch the wound on my face? Or I'd ask myself, how would I imagine my mother touching my face? Dropping these questions in allowed for a new move, a kinder move. Kinder than Susan Morgan might offer herself. Compassion doesn't necessarily arise spontaneously, especially for certain people and in certain circumstances. It's a heart cultivation. We practice bringing it forward. And generally speaking, one of the hardest people to offer compassion to is moi. No surprise there. We have a hard time, we're hard on ourselves, we have a hard time feeling and offering metta to ourselves, and likewise, we have a hard time offering compassion to ourselves. So I'd like to propose a practice, sort of an experiment this month, to get us in touch with compassion for ourselves in our everyday life. Because every day we say and do things that are unskillful and we cause harm. So every time you say or do something unskillful and see it, drop attention down inside and feel the ouch. Feel the constriction, feel the unpleasantness. Maybe place the hand on the heart and acknowledge that it hurts. But then remind yourself, I'm still a good person. This whole process is a compassionate move of reminding ourselves that we will hurt ourselves and hurt others, but we don't have to put ourselves in the doghouse for it, right? That we're not defined by that moment, but by what we do next, how we respond. How we respond to the suffering matters, because it is here that we begin to entrain compassion. So a simpler version of those instructions would be acknowledge, feel, let go, and remember you're still a good person. Acknowledge, feel, let go, and remember you're still a good person. Let's learn to be more compassionate with ourselves, with the small hurts that we cause out there and in here. We can do this. It's for our welfare and for the welfare of all the beings that we encounter. All right. Thank you for your kind attention. Let's open it up. And oh. Oh. Give the body whatever support it needs so it can let go of any extra work it's doing. And gently close the eyes, let go of the outside world, and turn the attention squarely to the interior. Feel the whole body as it's sitting here. Feel the base of the body, it's resting on the ground comfortably, and then grow tall out of that base. And let the breath have as much room as it needs to breathe. Now, right here, see if you can add a few drops of kindness and soften the gaze, and let's very gently bring the attention around the body, and just give a little attention to the places that tend to collect tension. So soften around the eyes and the forehead. Draw the attention around to the jaw and soften the jaw and the cheeks of the face. Let the teeth part, tongue settle. On the next exhalation, draw the attention down the neck, tops of the shoulders, let them settle down. And draw the attention all the way down the arms into the fingers and into the hands and fingers. And on the next exhalation, draw the attention all the way down through the torso, relaxing the belly. And on the next exhalation, draw the attention down through the legs into the feet onto the ground. And with each inhalation, we're opening up the interior. And with each exhalation, softening and settling all the way down through the whole of the body into the base onto the ground. For the next little while, let's practice catching ourselves talking unkindly in the privacy of our mind. And drop the attention down into the body and feel what that feels like inside. The contraction, the tightness, and let it unwind. Let it unwind. And gently remind yourself that you're still a good person. Catch yourself speaking unkindly. Then drop down inside the body and feel its effect. Breathe and keep letting it go. And then gently remind yourself that you're still a good person. And in the last 5 minutes of the meditation, can you settle back a little bit more? Let go of the instruction and receive the breath. Now drop in the awareness of context. All of us sitting here with you, and you sitting here with us. Each of us training our hearts alone together. Breathe with and in and through this field of goodwill. Let the whole body receive the message. Thank you all for your